Michael Pinball Clemons, we had a phone call a number of years ago where it was an instrumental call in terms of my personal and professional journey, a journey that brought me from corporate America back to the Greater Toronto area. And it's because of your heart and because of your commitment to service, because that's all I wanted to do was to be able to serve. And I was advised that the one person you need to call and have a convo with is Michael Pinball Clemons. Service is obviously, it's in you, right? And service is something that you've used to transform so many lives. Where does that come from?
Actually, I wanted you to ask you the very same thing, because I get this call from this guy, and he says he's our draft choice, right? We've drafted him into pro football, and we're asking, hey, listen, yeah, we want you on our team and all of this. And this guy, I mean, he's strong and muscular, he's fast, he's all of that. And then we get on the phone, and he says, I've got all of these wonderful things going. Sears and Roebuck has this class that they have each year, and only 30 people make it out of 2,000 people who register. And I did that. He says, and so I have so much going here, but I'll come to play with you if you help me learn how to serve. That was you. You said, beyond everything else, can you help me learn how to serve? Mm-hmm. And that's a God moment. And I just want to thank you for that, because that's unreal. I forgot what your question was, because that whole concept, that whole idea of loving people to a point where you put them before yourself in terms of your career and everything in your life. Yeah.
Well, you know what? This isn't about me. I appreciate you though, because you're so selfless. You're so ready to give and ready to honor other people. It's been a blessing, whether you're the person that is being poured into by yourself or someone that is in vicinity to be in receipt of that energy, because there's a transfer of energy that happens with you and the folks that you commit yourself to, which is anyone that comes into your path that shifts possibilities for others. Right, so you're co-founder of the Pinball Clemons Foundation that's impacting lives. Can you talk about that work a little bit? I know we're connected through that, but go ahead and share your vision for why did you start the Pinball Clemons Foundation and what's happening with it right now?
Well, I guess you've made this wonderful sort of you've prepared this wonderful platform, and all I want to say is it's not me. Right? Anything that's good, anything that's worthwhile is not me, right? It is, right, really just being God-centered, Christ-centered. Yeah. And when we are, we can learn to put others before ourselves. And our foundation, I just really want to stand on a table for the people, yourself included, who work alongside of us, who really get the work done. And so we're so excited. We did a lot of work abroad in the beginning, and now we back in our local community. That's where we wanted to start, but there was a little bit of something else I was doing, and I didn't want to confuse the two, right? So now we are full-fledged into our community and beyond our community. We're right across the country with the service that we provide, and beginning to grow and move. And our whole goal is to see young people thrive. So that's what our hope is. And by thriving, it doesn't mean that we're giving them something that is temporary, right? We want to be able to offer them something that will carry them the rest of their lives, and that is a job. It is that opportunity, and hopefully then they will get into that concept, that idea of to give is to live. Mm-hmm. Yes,
I think you've already. Some of the fruits of those efforts have already come to fruition, because, there was an event, Youth Lead, that had young people talking about the impact that you've had on them, the impact that the foundation has had on them, and how it's transformed how they see themselves, how they see their possibilities, and which is allowing them to step into spaces that are not only shifting things for them, but also for their families.
You're so well spoken. I love it. You speak so well, and you make it sound better. This is juicy when you say it. But what is the big thing is that then that leads into those young people reciprocating and them giving back. And so that is the full circle. And we have many of them who are doing things but this is that time that they need to build, right? There's a time where you can kind of be a little bit of selfish and kind of, get to the point where you can save enough to buy your first house and do all of that. But it's not money though. You can still do nice things. Right. And so have them be leaders in community would be our greatest hope.
Love that, love that. So when you think about all the things that you're doing now, you're putting together a championship team, right? So you're leading in community, you're leading in sport, you're inspiring business leaders across the world, right? What gets you fired up in these different areas as you work and as you serve?
Love. When people do things expecting nothing else in return, right? When people are helping people, right? And that's whether it's in a classroom, on a football field, in an office, wherever that is. But what I love most is seeing people honor people, right? If we could all put others before ourselves, we would never have to worry. We would always be taken care of, right? If we all learn that shared responsibility.
Yeah. And that shared responsibility is something that you have lived and continue to live and demonstrate not only as a possibility for others, but really as a standard in terms of how we can possibly show up for others, right? In times that maybe we're thinking that we should only be selfish and about self, but you've modeled that even in the midst of being able to achieve and accomplish, you're pulling other people with you. Now, I'm going to bring up a story. I don't know if you remember this. Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, right? Was at the stadium, and we were playing a football game, and at halftime, there's a group that came to you and said, Mr. Clemons, would you like to go meet the champ? And you said, does the team get to meet the champ? And they said, no, it's just you. And you declined an opportunity in that moment to meet the greatest of all time because of team.
And a huge Muhammad Ali fan, right? He was a tremendous example. And he was, braggadocious and all of that, but he did so many wonderful things, and he did put others before himself. And so consistent with that, it would have been wonderful. It would have been amazing to actually get a chance to meet him, right? But I think the whole idea that he was there, because I tickled him with the concept. So the whole fact that he was there and people had a chance to interact with him beforehand. That I thought that was really important and really special. But it's also important for us to actually practice what we preach, right? So I think it would have been a little bit unfair for me to leave the game, at halftime, or, when the guys are going, and for them not to have that same opportunity.
Right. So. And these are the things this is what I'm talking about when we talk about unreasonably committed to uplifting others. Unreasonably, and I say because it's not normal. In terms of what our experiences in this world right now, it's something that we hope for, pray for, and it's something that you example consistently, day in and day out. So how do we move folks towards that possibility as a collective? Like, how do people come alongside, your way of living? Any words that you would share for folks who maybe they're like, oh, but that's pinball. Like, I would love to be able to, but I don't have his energy or his passion.
So by doing it, right? So the idea is we have to do it, because if we don't do it, then it's not modeled. So it was modeled for me as a kid. So that's what happened to me. I was just loved. Yeah. My mom was a single parent and was phenomenal. She went way above and beyond. Yeah. But she raised me in the church, right? So that was a big starting point. And my dad was a very good man too. He gets the short of this story sometime, but he was a very good man who actually. The article said that, Bradenton loses local heroes. So he did a lot of things for his community. He was a school teacher. He ran the youth center, did a lot of great things. So I saw love modeled in so many ways. My mom is that piece, but there were others, and that's really key. When we see love, right, we can't resist it.
And you've embodied love. And that everything that you speak of, what your mom and your parents have modeled for you, are things that you're doing in ways that are modeling it for communities and allowing others to see what is possible. In a day and a time where popular thinking says, as long as you're good, as long as you get what you want, right? As long as you have it your way, right? Nothing else really matters. So you've shown up in a way for myself and for countless others that has been a powerful example of what can happen when you choose and choose and choose to pour into others in service. Yeah, so just so incredibly grateful for your example. What's next for you? What's next in terms of the foundation? What's next in terms of the team? What's next when you sit back and you're mapping? Because I know you're a thinker, and I know you're very well read and you're very strategic. So what's next for you?
At this juncture, we just need to continue to remind ourselves that family is so important. We are grandparents now, and so we want to kind of be founded in that. But I really work hard a lot of times at developing stuff and like when I was 17 years old, my mom says, well, what happens if you don't get a chance to play, right? Or you get a scholarship, right? What are you going to do? And so I had a plan for that, right? And then I end up getting a scholarship. So I wrote another plan. I wrote a 30-year plan when I was 19 or 20 years old, right? For my life, right? And I mean, it wasn't that detailed, right? But it was a plan. And so that plan. What I'd like to really do and get better at is just listen to God and see what He has for me next.
That's deep. I love that. Right. I love that. So in the midst of the planning, in the midst of the mapping, being willing to listen to God's voice, right? And really, you've shown up as the hands and feet of Christ in so many ways and for so many of us, right? And even as you have I'm excited for everybody that comes into your space, right? I'm excited for the new players that are coming in this year who have yet to experience all that is. Right, because it's transformative, right, and it's life-giving and life-saving. So I'm so excited to be here with you, to be on this show. I'm subdued right now. You gotta be like, jumping up and we be doing our thing, which we will do. We did it before. We'll do it after. But just so grateful and so excited for who you are, for what you are, what you've been for myself and so many, and for what's going to happen going forward.
Well, I just want to say it's so awesome to see you on this platform, and I really just want to thank you for having me, and the best part of me is not me, right? It's someone working in me. Yes, so.
Love.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So with that, Michael Pinball Clemons, it's always an honor to sit with you. It's always an honor to be able to spend time. More 100 Huntley Street coming at you right now.